Back now on Triad today, and it's my pleasure to bring one of my good longtime friends from broadcasting. I've known him for 800 years. J. Paul, our director, if we can see Dave Plyler. Of course, he's on our roundtable from time to time as well. But here he's wearing his hat as chairman of the county commissioners in Forsyth County in a segment that we like to do for part occasionally where we salute various localities and municipalities. And David, let's just start off. Give us a quick overview of how things are going in Forsyth County these days.
As far as the county is concerned, I think we're going very well. As you know, we're going to be participating in a groundbreaking for Caterpillar, which brings 500 brand new jobs to this area. And as you know, last week we announced 200 jobs, additional jobs to this community for Pepsi-Cola.
Exactly. That was a good thing to keep them there. Right?
And I frankly think that from an economic development point of view, the county is right on target, and there are a lot of other things in the pipeline that haven't materialized, but I have a lot of confidence that they will. So
now, didn't a bond pass to help build a new library?
Bond did pass to help the library, and that's an interesting story because for 25 years the commissioners, and I think with justification in most cases, would look at the budget and say we cannot afford to do anything for the library system. The result of that was a lot of patchwork was done, and we ended up with what is now a library that is more of a water sieve on the roof and 50 years behind in some cases in terms of proper facilities. But the voters, and that's where we finally went, we put it to the voters. If you don't want it, we understand, not a problem. But the voters voted 60% to get this thing done. And what's interesting about the process, and I use the word process in quotes because the process is going to involve citizen participation. Citizens in Clemens and Kernersville and Winston-Salem will be participating in public meetings, and they will tell the commissioners what they want, and then the commissioners will build it. Now, I think that's unique.
Yeah, it is. It's a good lesson in civics all the way around, from inception to the vote to the meetings that you're talking about, because we had Republicans and Democrats and independents go to the polls and vote for that referendum. It was not a straight party thing. It was probably one of the few times they didn't think about politics.
Yeah, and I think they were right on the money. One of the things people were worried about, and I think again with justification, is we are in tough economic times right now. That's the bad news. The good news is bonds are being sold at the lowest rates they have ever been sold for in the history of this county. That's the first thing. Secondly, when the commissioners put buildings out for bid in the past, we get 2 or 3 or 4 contractors. Now it's 30 and 40 contractors coming in saying, we want a chance at it, which means we're getting bids that are much lower than we've ever gotten. Or to put it another way, we can probably build a library for 30 or 40% less than what we would have done 2 years ago.
Yeah, upside to everything. Upside to everything, even though there's a lot of bad economic news going on. Before time gets away from us, I mentioned at the beginning that the good folks at PART, Brent McKinney and everybody, help us with these ideas to bring on and spotlight some of the municipalities. And I just think PART's doing a great job and a great service trying to move people around, especially when we're trying to create jobs, get people who don't have transportation or who want to save money on fuel. What's the you know, how important is regional transportation to this
It's
area?
extremely important. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. When gasoline was up to almost $4 a gallon, and you recall that.
Yeah.
Friend of mine, Roger Stockton, I don't know if you know Roger, but Roger used to run WSJS, WTQR. He and I decided we would take a PART bus to Mount Airy and spend the day and then come back.
Right.
Remember now, gas was almost $4 a gallon.
Got close to 5 for a while.
Well, we went up and back for $2 a piece.
And had a great time.
We had a great time.
Yeah, it's just a great service, and I think it's a great economic development story. And very quickly, we're about to run out of time, what challenges do we face, or do you face in Forsyth County now looking ahead?
I think we still have a ways to go where education is concerned. We've got a couple of $100 million bond issue coming up in about a year or two. And that bond issue is going to be just as important as the library bond issue, and we need to do that. We need to take a look at education. People don't realize right now how bad off the Department of Social Services is. More people are asking for social services, food stamps, child care. It just goes on and on and on in numbers that have been unseen in this county. And that's something we're going to have to tackle as well.
I'm glad you pointed that out and help us stay on top of that. Here's a quick shout out to the good folks at PART. And the website's there if you want to check routes and schedules. You just heard a good testimonial here from Mr. David Plyler about PART, and it's all true. And we appreciate what they do for the community, and we appreciate what you do for the community in serving, and we'll see you on the roundtable sometime.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, David.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back after this.